Security, our correspondent who is always at the theatre of operations in the front. What has happened today? They no longer come to the markets at night, but humans of the conflict and crime.
That meaningful development cannot take place in the face of insecurity and crime challenges. Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which dwell on the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy, dedicates its Section 14, Subsection 2b, to the security and welfare of the people as the primary purpose of government. Therefore, in Nasarawa State, institutions of state bestowed with these responsibilities have not rested on their oars in living up to their responsibilities. Some of the conflicts range from land issues to boundary, chieftaincy, ethnic, header farmers, and politics. For instance, the State Security Council with Governor Abdullahi Sule as chairman holds regular meetings with commanders of security agencies in the state, where reviews are made and strategies perfected towards tackling conflicts and crime. This is in addition to regular meetings with neighboring states under the State Conflict Resolution Mechanism. The State Police Command say it has also evolved various strategies to prevent or respond to conflicts and crime.
They have been coming to us with a lot of useful information, and this information, they are well processed and they become actionable intelligence. And we have been, using the intelligence to assist us in our fight against criminal elements.
The roles of sister agencies like the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, as well as other unconventional security outfits like the vigilante groups and Neighborhood Watch, have often proven effective in not only responding to conflict situations but in prevention.
We have our offices established across all nooks and crannies of the state. We have divisional offices, we have area command offices, and we have outposts, especially for the grassroots dwellers.
Any place where vigilante go dey, that place peace day. We are working with police and the community area.
These efforts are paying off as declared by the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, that some crisis areas of Benue, Nasarawa and Taraba states are now peaceful and safe for habitation. The Summit of Police and Governors of the North Central Zone in Lafia is another initiative to promote security in the zone.
This summit will enable us to interact and exchange valuable ideas on the security issues concerning the region. It will also avail me the opportunity to update the delegates on the community policing strategy already in place by the Nigeria Police to mitigate the security challenges.
This summit will in no doubt provide us with an ample opportunity in the zone to share experiences, appraise and recommend appropriate measures on the security situation for the continued sustenance of peace, coexistence among the diverse ethnic nationalities, not only in the region, but the country at large.
Today, I'm aware that several investors that wanted to come to my state, they decided to decline because of the security situation in my state. And that is why we're having several challenges around because of the level of unemployment. Even the few industries that existed are falling because the environment is very poor, especially the issue of security.
This whole process should be all-inclusive to involve everyone.
However, given the sophisticated dimensions conflicts and crime are assuming, the concern of many, especially security watchers, is the need for everyone to be part of the efforts in curbing conflicts in Nasarawa State.
Thank you, Achigli. No nation or state can make progress without peace. That's where the adage of united we stand, divided we fall becomes relevant. And still talking security, In a bid to enrich media content to fully inform Nigerians on the challenges and prospects of the decade-long counterinsurgency operations by the military, the Nigerian Army recently organized a media tour of the northeast ravaged by Boko Haram. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was part of the team that visited parts of Borno and Adamawa states. He brings us details of their adventure.
These are journalists assessing military efforts to end all forms of terrorism in the region. From Maiduguri-Bama Road to Banki Junction, Pulka, Limankara, Goza in Borno, and Madagali in Adamawa State meander through difficult terrain and harsh weather conditions, noting the features that provided safe haven for the insurgents, all now manned by the Nigerian Army troops. While socio-economic activities have resumed in many towns visited, some villages seem deserted, with buildings wearing old bullet wounds, structures torn rubble and scraps.
We are in Limankara. Behind me you can see the bridge. The bridge was blown off by the Boko Haram as they were withdrawing when the military were pushing them out, early 2015. And you can see there is some work ongoing to reconstruct the bridge.
You can see the level of devastation is self-explanatory. You have gone around, you have seen it. This used to be Obata, a village, well-known community here in Goza, under Goza local government. You can see the destruction they have done to even MTN masts just to cut off communication. You can see most of the houses here are destroyed. The people have gone, they are now part of the IDP, they are in IDP camps. And this is part of the unfortunate situation that we are facing. If not because of the intervention, you can see we have a permanent deployment here, including members of vigilante and hunters.
What do you want now? To the journalists on board, passing through parts of the demystified Sambisa forest, now a shadow of the former command and control center of the Boko Haram, it is obvious that the days of terror is still hibernating are numbered.
Although people are back to some of the communities going about their normal activities, but there's still more that needs to be done in terms of development. The roads are terrible. That's one thing that I've noticed, and it's not far from the fact that even government is handicapped. Even government will not be able to do much when there is crisis situation. I'm sure that there are projects, road constructions that are supposed to have been done, but because of the crisis situations, they have not been able to do that.
So far I have seen devastated communities. I've seen buildings riddled with bullets. I've seen bridges blown. I've seen communities in their need of intervention. More importantly, I've seen a military that is up to its task, protecting the civilian population and assisting through other corporate social responsibilities.
The military is doing a lot. I saw a lot of sacrifices. I saw most of them doing dog watch, sacrificing day and night, trying to make peace return, but the land is so vast. I think they need more than what they are given to do. They need air support. They can't do it alone. They need the support of the rural community.
The military have tried. If not for them, I wonder what will have happened. I wonder how will have even been able to move, because if you look at even the way they live, they have sacrificed. They sleep in the cold. They don't have good shelter. They sleep in trenches just to make sure people are safe. You know, so honestly, they have tried. If nobody recognizes them, God recognizes their effort.
Vast ungoverned space with enhanced ecosystem suitable for agriculture, a blessing to the Northeast, but also a challenge to the nation's military in view of the ongoing counter-insurgency operation and the area's proximity to countries like Chad and Niger. This paved way for possible cross-border crime.
Anywhere we are not is due to scarceness of military resources, which is very scarce even in US, and vastness of the ground. If we are to go and sit all over everywhere, we will almost have to triple our strength. So what strategy did the Chief of Army Staff direct us to use here? All these areas of heavy population, ensure they live their life in peace.
The media tour is expected to cover other parts of the country with military presence.
Joining us in the studio is Ismail Musa, our defense correspondent who has just returned from the field. It's nice to have you in our studios with us, Ismail.
Thank you, Naja. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to appear in this, to be in this platform.
You're looking all combatant, having just returned from the field. And you know, we have a nickname for you in our newsroom. Should I share it with our viewers?
Go ahead.
You know, we call you the GOC.
That's what I am.
So what does it, tell us your experience. How does it feel covering military operations targeted at ending the war against insurgency, especially in areas termed theater of war?
It's challenging. It's tasking. Before now, I was the station's works correspondent, exposed to traveling on the nation's 35,000 kilometers of road network. But here I am now, traveling to where there are no roads, going to where people dare not visited. Here I am now traveling in a well-armed convoy with guns I mostly see in films. And at times those platforms are being used in my presence. Here I am now traveling late hours of the night. It's an honor and it's a privilege. Initially I was having mixed feelings, a bit scared, but gradually it became part of me. But the only aspect I will not get over is the fact that I don't celebrate festive periods with my family. And I reach a stage that each time I pick my laptop back and I'm leaving, my son will say, Dad, you're going again? Hope you're not traveling. But it's an interesting experience, and I believe everyone wants to have a bit of it.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I like the fact that you mentioned, you know, the sacrifices that, you know, defense correspondents, in fact all our correspondents make just to get the story to the people, what's happening in the field. Which brings me to the next question. What are the lessons learned from the media tour which you undertook with some of our other colleagues?
There are a lot of lessons. You see, unlike most of our operational visit to the Northeast in the convoy of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, this tour provided us an opportunity to enrich our content. In the past, the entourage comprises mostly the embedded journalists, but the tour opened up window and brought in other journalists, particularly defense correspondents on the social media and other platforms. You see, unlike before, just as I said, we are tasked covering the operational visit of the Chief of Army Staff. We report what he said or what he did or his operational tours. But this time around, we see things for ourselves. We interacted with the troops in different locations. You know, we assessed the ongoing, recently introduced Super Camp concept, which entails concentration of troops in location to enhance rapid aggressive response to threats. And then we saw sacrifice on the part of the nation's troops. And it also assists us to fully and properly educate Nigerians on the state of the ongoing counter-insurgency operations.
And that's important, isn't it? Because you hear a lot of rumors and you see all sorts of posts on social media which are not true. And that's why what you're doing, this media tour, is important for people to have a clear picture of what is going out there. Now, you know, I'm interested in something you said, picking up from some of the weapons you've seen, like in real life. And it makes me wonder, these terrorists have sophisticated weapons. So what are the emerging strategies our Nigerian army, you know, is bringing out to counter these terrorists?
Yes, Naja, the terrorists have sophisticated weapons, as you rightly said. But what the loyal troops have is experience and expertise. That is what they've been using to overcome most of their challenges. And over the years, the military have gone into local production and fabrication of needed platforms to complement those imported from outside. And these have greatly reduced capital freight and have generated employment in and around the military. And a lot of those armored combat vehicles, both armored and light skin, have been deployed to the theater of operation, and they are greatly helping the ongoing counterinsurgency operations, and plans are on to expand the production of these hardwares.
Now, just, should I say, 2 days after you returned, there was an attack on a place called Auno. How did that make you feel, seeing that you had just come from that area?
Give grace to God and feel bad that lives have been lost, and then pray and hope more will be done. A lot have been achieved in the ongoing counterinsurgency operations, but more still need to be achieved on the side of both the military and the civil society. It's a collective responsibility for us to really eradicate the remnant of this Boko Haram still hibernating in some of in the northeast.
Now, with what you've seen on ground since returning, what are some of the ways which the civil populace can help our troops with their work?
Timely provision of surveillance reports, movement of suspicious people. You see, over the years, I came to realize that these criminals don't live in isolation. At times, they live within communities. So, if you suspect a gathering or you suspect people, nothing should stop you from going to the nearest security agency to report and draw their attention to it. And then some people feel this war is between the military and the criminals. No. All hands must be on deck to properly eradicate these criminals. You see, the challenge in these decade-long counterinsurgency operations is that, being an asymmetric warfare, the criminals know who is a military personnel, but the military personnel will only know them when they carry out their acts or with their weapons, because they don't have uniforms, while the military personnel are in uniforms. And then, unlike conventional war, where you have a defined territory, a defined land where you go to fight, you don't have a particular place to fight. They could come in anytime, anywhere, to strike soft targets. That's one of the challenges. But by and large, I know with hard work, commitment, and prayers, I believe it will be overcome.
And that's what every Nigerian is hoping for. I want to thank you for coming to our studios, and we hope to see you again soon with good news.
Thank you very much, and it's been a great pleasure being on this platform.
Thank you very much, Ismail. That was our defense correspondent, Ismail Musa, with first-hand experience of the theater of operations in northeastern Nigeria. Still to come on The Correspondents, emerging markets which operate at odd hours in Abuja. Join us again.